In this lecture, we'll study about the scanf function, which is used in C programming language. Before going through this description, let's try to understand where exactly the scanf function comes into a picture. So till now, whatever number of programs I have covered, in every program, we have assigned the value to the variables. There was no user interaction as such. To make any program general, the program should ask the user to supply the values of variables through the keyboard during the execution time. And this functionality can be achieved by making use of a function which is called as scanf. In the previous lecture, we have already covered the function called as printf function. So scanf function is a counterpart of the printf function. Let's see how. Printf function outputs the value to the screen, whereas scanf function receives them from the keyboard. So the general form of scanf function is as follows. As we can see here, function scanf. Within double quotes, we have to provide the format string, comma, ampersand, and the name of the variable. So when we are talking about format string, this is something what we have already covered in printf function. There are three types of format strings what we have covered till now. So %f for accepting real values, %d for accepting integer values, %c for accepting character values. Let's try to understand why this ampersand is being used over here. So ampersand is basically an address of operator. It gives the location number, which is also called as an address, used by the variable in the memory. And it's must to use this ampersand before the variable name. Here I have taken one example. So scanf, you have to open the function. Within double quotes, we have to provide the format string. So I have provided %d, which is used for integer values, comma, ampersand, and the name of the variable. When we are saying ampersand a over here, we're basically telling the scanf function at which memory location the value should go. Let's say a C program to understand how the scanf function works in C. So this is a program to accept two numbers from the user and perform arithmetic operations. I'm starting my program with a comment. Then comes #include stdio.h, the preprocessor directive, which is including standard input-output header file. Here is the main function with return type int. As the return type is integer, this function should end with a return 0 statement. Inside main function, I'm declaring two integer variables, num1 and num2. On the next line, I am printing a message that is enter the value of the first number. So basically, this is a message given to the user to understand what action the user should take at this point of time. On the next line, we are making use of scanf function. So as we have seen before, the format of scanf function says within double quotes, format string, comma, ampersand sign, and the name of the variable. So as num1 is an integer variable, we are using %d. After ampersand, we have to make use of the very first variable name, that is num1. In a similar way, I have given a message for telling the user to enter the value of second number. Here on the next line, we are using the scanf function to receive that value from the user. The format is the same as what we have followed for accepting the first number. After accepting these two values, this is a printf function just for printing this message. So it will print result of arithmetic operations. Here on the next line, I am performing some arithmetic operations. So the first operation is addition. On the next line, the user will see result of addition. %d is a format string as both the values are integer, comma, we are performing addition function. So it will be number1 plus number2. The variable names are num1 and num2. So we have to make use of the accurate variable names here. Similarly, on the next line, I'm trying to print result of subtraction. As we can see here again, the format is the same. We have to make use of format string %d and the operation is subtraction. On the next statement, we are printing the result of multiplication. So here the multiplication sign comes. And on the next line, we are trying to print the result of division operation. So the division operator is here.
After completing the program, we need to save it. So I've already saved this program with the name arithmetic op. .c is the extension which is denoting that it's a C program file. Now let's go to the execute option to compile the code first. As it can be seen here, this code has 0 errors and 0 warnings. Go back to execute and run the code. So here it is asking the user to enter the value of first number. Let's say the first number is 16. Then comes the second message, that is the enter the value of second number. Let's say the value is 4. So this is a result of arithmetic operations, result of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. If I execute this program again, I can provide different set of values. Let's say the next set of values is 14 and second number is 7. So this is again the result of the arithmetic operations performed over these two different values. Now let's try to make some changes in the code. Instead of accepting these two numbers using two different scanf functions, we can also accept them using a single scanf function. For that, let's edit the printf function. I can delete these two lines. Instead, here comes %d, comma, ampersand, num2. So in the same line, I can accept two values. We have to simply separate these two variables by a comma. After making the changes, let's save the program. Let's go to the execute option and compile the code. Again, as we can see here, it has 0 errors, 0 warnings. Let's execute it. So we can see here, we're getting a message that is to enter the value of first number and second number. I'll say the first number is 25, second number is 5. So we are separating these two values by a space. Enter. After pressing the enter key, we can get the results of arithmetic operations. So in this lecture, we have covered the scanf function. We've also seen a C program to understand how to use the scanf function. In the next lecture, we'll see a C program to swap two numbers. Thank you.